Welcome back, ladies and gents. We're heading out second day, halfway through. I'm Chichi. This is gonna be our beloved, adorable Sir Doggy.
Hello, Doggy here to accompany you guys towards the last two games for the second day. So, interesting, son. It's not about Vietnam gameplay
Really
again.
interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of boring at the beginning, but
Yeah, he's being frank.
but at the late game, it's so amazing to watching gameplay coming from Kazakhstan. But like I discussed with Don, I think all the teams need to be cautious enough because Brunei Darussalam, 3 games not outing the position out from the top 3. Even the first game is the winner chicken dinner for them.
I mean, like right now, they are the only team with a triple digit. You can't deny how much big of a statement they're putting up there. And the one actually following up behind, following pursuit, it's going to be Kazakhstan. But if you compare with all the other teams out there, they're definitely having the most best performance of overall and rounded up. But here we go again. Let's just give the team some bad luck.
Ooh, another caster jinx, you see? Yeah.
As always.
So yeah, the prediction for me, I predict Iraq will play well in this Evangel because you know they are so aggressive. I think they just lost their momentum. They just lost their composure because from the previous Evangel they managed to go to the late game, but when it comes to executing the late game gameplay, they failed with that. So I hope Iraq will show us again their best for this Evangel.
For me, it's going to be Brunei. I tell you why. If they're that powerful,
Yeah.
they can fight the curse and they can fight the jinx from my mouth. I believe they are that powerful, so come on, Brunei. Fight the jinx of the caster's curse here on our desk and show us what you're made of. Just to justify myself.
Yeah. Because if Brunei, like you mentioned, they are just strong enough, I think, yeah.
They should
even
be.
our jinx, it doesn't happen to Brunei. I mean, 3 games with a style performance that was just amazing. And for you guys at home, do not forget, again, I mentioned, to support your nation, to support the team that you think is the best because it is about time to see who will be the champion. Today, it's only left with 2 games. Tomorrow, another 5 games. So, in total, it's just 7 games left to the champion, to determine who will become the champion.
That's kind of true. It's down to the edge here. We're talking about all the teams. Only top 3 will get away with the prize pool. That's going to be the worst part of it because the others will be devastated the fact that they can't actually go on. At least they get to experience Bali.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Merusaga is a good hotel. All things in here, in park. You can do the swimming, play the volleyball, amazing beach.
Did you try to play the volleyball?
No. I can't fight with the foreigners. They're too tall for me. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to the Evangel, the second one, which is the last Evangel for today. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? As esports player, it's kind of usually kind of a stereotypical mind that we have. It's going to be players love to stay indoors.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to deny that for now because I feel like staying indoors. The heat here is really on the different level. Just how the players are right now.
Yeah, you do not want to play with heat in Bali, especially at the middle of the noon. So yeah, it's good. Fire stage is indoor, even though the name is fire, but it's hotter outside, so especially for the earth stage.
So we can just assume everybody who actually be in Bali during midday, they will be like esports players, just staying indoors.
Oh yeah. They intend to use our lifestyle, you know, become an indoor person, so it's safer because
being idolized in the midday.
just the midday. But yeah, back to the game again. The flight path. It's a wonderful one. It's a beautiful one. Everyone can go towards what they want. Just do not forget about the vehicle. You need it like we watch right now at the small screen. Kazakhstan already collected one of the view of the vehicles, even though it's still the Coupe RB, but Kazakhstan.
What
the
kind
circle.
of circle is this?
This is quite interesting, not only in terms of circle, but besides Vietnam.
My God, is this even happening?
Yeah.
This is my first time ever of my entire career in PUBG Mobile to have a right-sided south circle. Ever. I never get to see the circle.
You never got to see the circle.
Okay, I fine. Sometimes we get the southern part, but wait, Rock versus Hazen. Hazen It's just too much for him to handle. It's just very dominating to the side of Iraq. They definitely dominate the entire apartment here. And not many players coming from Sri Lanka to help Hazen just now.
Yeah, it's almost my jinx happened because one of the players from Iraq were being knocked down. But yeah, fortunately for the other teammates helping so fast. One thing I want to discuss earlier. So usually when it comes to the grand final in Rangel, especially the Sultan Island, only occupied by one team, which is Vietnam. But right now, two more teams, which is Chinese Taipei and also Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken, they also dropping down at the Sultan of Island. So it's kind of unique. The second day, a lot of things change.
I mean, like, I'm not surprised when it comes to Chinese Taipei and Vietnam, honestly. But Pakistan, yes, because they used to be a team that really full of aggression. But back to the side of Iraq, they're really nitpicking every fight they can. Everything that moves, they're going to shoot, even though it's a VSS. I used to love VSS a lot. But for the side of Reva, he's a bit disappointed. He couldn't actually get that. Everything connects with that taps just now. Switching over to a DP28. I have a feeling he really wants to find himself an M416. But you know what? The DCI is in more than enough. Hey, why did he take the vehicle just now? I mean, like where he made a big U-turn.
That's a big question. I think they're just cautious enough because South Korean players are only spotted by only two, so they do not know the others two. So I think they want just do the regrouping.
You look at my face right now.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard for them. But Indonesia right now moved to Lipovka, one of the other team, which is Egypt, going towards their place, and this is not a good start because Indonesia. At least they need a good a good game because if they want to back to the track, back to the achieving more when it comes to the IESF, they need it because for an average, I think an Indonesian team doesn't achieve for more than 8 points a game, even lower than that. So they really need this game. They have Lipovka. There's no big contender because Egypt just arrived. So let's see how they will play.
You know what? I get it if they're walking on thin ice and being extra cautious about something, but being paranoid is a different level. Now, that's going to be a losing one if you're actually too paranoid about trying to get vehicles and whatsoever. They should have taken the vehicle just now. But for Indonesian side, I agree. They need to actually really try to do something new. Since everything happens to be broken for them, they need to figure out how to adjust within just small amount of time. We're talking about over a day right now. They still have not even improved a tiny bit. It's like the points that they gain within this past 2 days is just too minute to actually give it an impact for the overall rankings. Kazakhstan, on the other hand, though, they're really quite aggressive today. They have been under a lot of spotlight. But for Vietnam, now this is going to be one of the teams that, they have been in the PUBG Mobile scene the longest, one of the longest, but also the same player. Some of them still the same player. But it's just, why is it so hard for them to actually have it a go when it comes to the World Esports Championship?
That's interesting. When it comes to Eagle and Vietnam as a nation, I totally agree with that. But again, maybe because a lot of expectation, that's the first point. The second one is lesser information about the other nation, the other team. So maybe that's two main factor when it comes to Vietnam. They can't perform well because when we saw at the first day, they got the winner chicken dinner. Even at play-ins, they played quite well, but they're not dominating. They're ups and downs when it comes to the performance. So
okay, fine. I'm going to cut you off there halfway because why? If you're saying that because they don't have information regarding all different nations and countries, then what do you have to say about Brunei? They're not even in PMPL. They don't even have invitation towards PMPL. But look at how well they performed. They even outplayed the grand finalists for PMGC. That's just how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so good. And I think when it comes to the next, of my opinion, it can be their treatment to adapt about this particular match. Because, Brunei, even though they start the day so well when it comes to the play-ins, they also have their downfall. I mean, for the second day, I think Brunei not performing really well. They even making a far gap toward the Saudi Arabia, which is their arch nemesis when it comes to the first day. So yeah, I think the treatment, how to adapt well, Brunei did it pretty well to this IESF itself. But coming for the rotation, I think Pakistan doing it really fast. Even they are not collecting a lot of good loot, especially for them to survive up until the late game. Because, you know, Chinese Taipei right now is shooting towards all the players from Pakistan. Forward vehicle is good, but where is the exact location Pakistan want to go right now?
I don't know. The thing about some teams, I have a feeling they are a bit too civilized. Can you? Because why they keep using the road there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it's good to be a lawful
civilized.
citizen.
Yeah.
It's good to be a very good citizen, but not in this round right now, where there's so many eyes watching on top of that bridge to cut across on the right side of Sonoska military base. On Korean, we do have Will marching towards a military base as well. Will it be a junkyard of the plane crash that we have in SMB or not? We have to wait and see, depending on the circle shifts towards it or not. But we do have some teams already inside of a blue zone. Turkey and also coming up Morocco. Both teams in the PMGC levels already taking the blue zone quite early on. So I have a feeling that they realize, you know what, we're quite too far from the circle.
Oh yeah.
Might just as well take our own time to loot up.
Yeah, I think that's the good one, and that's the precise opinion, because, you know, Turkey is going from Georgia Pole, so they need to collecting a lot of loot, because when they want to go toward the circle, there's a huge percentage coming from the other team due the gatekeep. But speaking of gatekeep, South Korea right now need to do a regroup, because, you know, Maldives, all of the players already at the particular place, and this will be big, because 4-on-4 situation without losing any manpower and starting a good war inside the circle. So Maori going outside need to find some good position, I guess, and the nade coming from Will, connected towards the player from Maldives, but a threat happened. Marie, again, the savior, the MVP of playing from Maldives, but the movement coming from South Korea is just so fast. Toxin still shooting, but Toxin going again inside the compound, because one of the players from South Korea is there, but another shot happened, so the threat still happened. 3-on-3 situation right now between South Korea and Maldives.
Mano to mano, left with only Big Star versus side of Addy. Here comes both of them reviving their own teammates. But can they have it another go with a short amount of time? Big Star cooking up the nade already. Addy, oh, he managed to get away with it. Mav Boy, oh, he might actually execute his own teammate there. I don't think that's a good start. Back to the side of Will. Shredded almost. He got Mori. Left with only Addy. Now Will trying to find around the corners. Addy, can he still save Math? But at the same time, we're looking at Big Star and Math Boy bleeding now. Big Star wants to help his mate so much. Hoping to get a different corner entirely. Now here comes a revival. Math and also Addy will get a bit of a reset. It's back 2v2 here. Europe being revived as well. Maldives, this is not a great number for them. Addy, ring around the Rosie, got in the window pane, and Addy going for more. He equal out the odds with the Thompson there. Taking on Addy, tried to take down onto a side of Korean team. Big Star spotted out, but Addy, he needs to get out from here.
Oh my God!
What a nice jump just now! There was a bold move, valiant effort from Maldives.
That was a very bold movement, even though another knockdown happened, but they failed to manage locate one more player from South Korea, and that's a big result, a big win for South Korea. Not only about the fourth elimination, but the loot rate, because they're not prepared enough for the late game. But moving to the other place, Iraq right now. Kalaga, classic one with Mini 14 still shooting towards the players from Jordan. Even Iraq not only spotting 1 point towards the Jordan, but they have another angle. And Jordan, I think they need to move away, move to the other place and do some rotation. But moving to Egypt right now, fighting with Saudi Arabia at the open field. The Saudi Arabia squad fighting up each other, so do not have a good backup when it comes to cross combat, but Prestige from far away. The M4 with the ×4 still giving a lot of damage towards the Egypt players, but the knockdown is not happen. So that way, a big loss for Saudi, because they already lost 2 of their members.
Heavy casualty on their side, all right. SK need to get out. Damage just now was a bit too reckless to just open fire in the middle of an open field where all the teams coming up from Egypt just circling them around. But back towards Iraq and Rava, which are going to be fighting against the Moroccan players. Marshall, Chapo, and Sanke is there around the corners, lurking around with the Blues and closing in. We're talking about the Egypt players still lurking here inside of the Blue Zone. This is way too long. They extended this fight for no good reason at all. Tahil and Chrono 9. They tried to actually heal themselves up, but they found it out Prestige. It might be a bumper car moment. Here comes Krona, just tailing up Prestige. Still following pursuit with the car. This is going to be a heated moment. Prestige, with the Blues are closing in. Will they connect? Oh, he whiffed it so much for Krona 9.
It's so far to be taken down. It's not that easy, but both of the parties having a bad moment right now because they need to go towards the bridge. And you can see from the minimap, a lot of teams already there, especially for the teams inside the Sosnovka Island. One team, I think, Indonesia is swimming right now, and the zone, the circle shifts hard and giving a hard time for a lot of teams because I think only 3 teams so far already inside the circle. Meanwhile, the teams that are still at the main island, they have a really tough situation. Even right, a Volt again, one of the strong players from Iraq giving the surprise to one player from Morocco, the scouter Marshall being taken down.
And it is just too long for the teams on the outskirts. Marshall will finish off by Volt straight away. It's not even... You know what? That's mean, Volt. You not just knocked that person. Now you steal away their vehicle. What kind of person are you?
Oh my
Not even
God.
finishing him off. And the Moroccan players finish off by Kalaga Chapo. And Kalaga with a mini 40, making sure things are being cleaned off straight from his eyes here. It's going to be right across him. And we still have these teams now inside of season white Iraq teams, Volt and Golden, the one that stole the vehicle away just now. Reva being counter-fire in the side of Turkish team. Catch being knocked down by Golden. It's 1-2-1 trade for Reva. Iraq and versus the side of a Turkish team. So let's try to stop the one that's coming in from your Iraq team. It's going to be a 3-way war of a crossfire between Turkey, Iraq, and also... I think it was who else?
It was, sorry, I forget one of the moment because Turkey, Iraq, and before is that Egypt? I think it's not Egypt, right? It's Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco.
It's Morocco, yeah, it's Morocco. So yeah, because the tension of the moment, ladies and gentlemen, Iraq, I think back to the default, they are so aggressive right now. They have the position, they do the gatekeep, but like what Chuchu already mentioned earlier, it's too long to be outside of the circle at the Blue Zone itself. They are costing, or it costs a lot of first aid, it costs a lot of damages, and also boost. But Golden, what a close combat moment. Golden, I think this is a golden moment for him. He already collected 3 elimination, 1 more loot threat, and also still a safe vehicle. Even 2 other teammates already inside the circle, so Golden, I think he still can move toward the circle easily.
Yep, not as easy. I think there's going to be a lot of gatekeepers on the other end. And the only team right in the center of the SMB just now, it's going to be Pakistan team waiting around the corner. So yeah, we mentioned about them. They got themselves the whole compound for themselves around the airplane tower. They got themselves in the junkyard of the plane itself. And Kazakhstan again.
Ooh, Kazakhstan really stepping up about the movement when it comes to two-day matches. They can go toward the circle quite well, even though before they are being contested by Vietnam, but they still manage to calculate precisely is it a worth fight or not. So yeah, we are back to the circle suddenly, or less than 2 seconds we are going to the 4th circle. Oh, going to the military base, the central area. Even the junkyard from the plane is still there a little bit. So Pakistan, Chinese Taipei really in a big advantage. Meanwhile, Brunei Darussalam, the team that are not lowering down, the team which is the first one to get 100 total points, so they are now in a bad situation. Chinese Taipei, 1-2 move, spotted by Pharaoh, 1 elimination for Team Pakistan.
Pakistan having a go against Chinese Taipei now from afar. It's going to be Pharaoh scouting out for the rest of the team. With an M416 in his hands, waiting for the next victim to come across. While Jordan gonna ham down Chinese Taipei from the other end, entirely different angle, where Sawi and also Leif waiting here to make a go. Now, it's out with a UMP, hoping somebody will step inside the compound themselves, but that's not going to happen. And we do have one more thing lurking around the corner. It's going to be coming out from South Korea. They want to be part of this party as well. While the Indonesian team this time, they survive longer and they finally get into the SMB as well. Now, we do have 15 teams still intact in the fourth phase of the circle with a very small island of SMB. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. Especially a circle like this is not easy for those who lay toward the circle. Saudi just jumped down from the vehicle, but they do not realize Kazakhstan already do a good guard, a good gatekeep at the east side of the Sosnovka military base. But moving from Brunei, one of the vehicle already smoked and shot by the other team, which is Vietnam from behind. But Chewy still managed to survive, even though he's not inside the circle. The other teammate, which is Sako, is down. The bug is flipping. Shako being knocked down. So Chewy will become the last man standing from Brunei.
Flying buggy in the last minute. Look at how he just tossed over. Here comes Brazil coming up towards the side of the entire different side of the military. Definitely the Sri Lanka do finish off straight away by the side of Brazil here. Darden making sure Doom can't do any towards Vietnam taking on Saudi Arabia. Darden and the rest of the Brazilian teams are taking over sweet time on the southern part entirely. Eagle Esports, which will be representing Vietnam, taking a fight against the Brunei's Chewy. Will he be the last remaining member from Brunei? Feels like it. We need Kalaga back to a side of Iraq. Spotted out 7 from Brazil. The playing juncture is just too much to handle for some teams here.
A lot of actions happen. Even the observer is quite confused which fight they want to see or give us the view itself. So yeah, we'll see later, because Iraq, I think one of the strong team right now. They're guarding the left bridge really well right now, already inside the circle, and they still have a good place to defend for a while. Meanwhile, Brunei, I think they already predicted by Vietnam, because earlier the movement from Chewy is cut by the shot coming from Vietnam. So let's see later, because I heard a gunshot just a while. I think it's coming from a lot of team inside the military base, the central part of it. So the fifth circle, where is it going? So
wow.
Oh my God, this is so hard. This is so hard. A lot of teams will have a hard situation, because Pakistan already did the job pretty well of defending, but Brazil, I don't know, they're just moving. They're not shooting all the time. When it comes to this game, they're just moving with their vehicle.
It's just a very good but Chewy finally finish off there. And this is one of the very first few Brunei being eliminated. I totally cursed them.
Yo, Brazil. I mean, like, the movement coming from the vehicle at the late game with this fast tempo is not that good. But late, this is the man when it comes to the close combat, one of the strongest, especially using a Vector. One of the fastest weapon when it comes to the close combat with 9mm bullet. He won the fight, but Egypt, sneaky, beaky, inside the smoke. All of the team tried their best to go toward the circle. Well, the compounds already occupy a lot of team, so they are moving to a squeeze place, a place that they think it will be unexpected. But Indonesia moving from the north, Vietnam are moving, so it's a rotation circle right now.
It's just less than 300 meters for the radius right now of the circle. Darko Scar in his hands. Try to stop those coming out from the other side, right across him. And they're sharing the same compound with the Vietnam team here. Try to play around the corners. Vaz just keep tossing out. Nate's going to be on his teammate. Wait, what is happening? My goodness, is he confused by the fact that that's his own teammate instead? Back to the side of Vaz, trying to cook and open up another nade towards the other end. Vietnam is on the outside. Well, we do have for the indoors, it's going to be Pakistan team. While the other side, we have Martin taking down on 6 of Kazakhstan. Vaz of Pakistan still fighting, and Martin finish off 6. Kalaga taking on Lutz on Turkey on a different angle entirely. Looking back about the Turkish team, they do have to revive one of their teammates. We have Vietnam still lurking around Pakistan, having to go for the longest time. Jordan fighting Chinese Taipei on a different angle. While Daku Fu spotted out with the Scar L, now trying to push forward, but this is taking too long for Vietnam versus Pakistan.
I mean, this is a total chaos. Everyone have their own business. I mean, for a close combat, the long range bell, everything quite packed when it comes to a circle like this. The smoke is quite loaded right now, but maybe shooting towards Isawi, because maybe once one of the player, which is Martin, can cross toward the circle, but Age Chuek, finally the substitute coming from Indonesia, is playing right now. So we'll see, because Vietnam, 2 of the players right now being spotted, 1 even already being knocked down. Winnie also by Indonesia, and I think this is the moment. Indonesian are stronging their gameplay. I mean, when it comes to the performance, this is the highest they are just playing. So the need cooked right now by Willie Aja, Willie thrown to Team Vietnam. I think they already predicted well. Winnie, the knockdown player, confirmed 2 eliminations so far for Indonesian.
Here comes under the Kobe. Willie Aja want to do the play here. He's definitely going to clutch this, giving the pressure to a side of Tuan Zing Truek. Actually going for the other side. That's going to finish off Vietnam entirely. Indonesia finally rise up to the occasion with 4 players in World Alive, lurking around the corners, finding out more, hunting down more teams to go. It's going to be Jordan and Chinese Taipei next. Across them, but from afar, vast, taking on Asia Truek from quite a distance. Martin just going to heal up and reset, while maybe try to open up the space, while trying to scoot up to the side of Pakistan. Egypt trying to laugh with 1 player. Jordan still hunting down Chang Fu on Chinese Taipei, playing around 3 levels of stories building. He's going to lay spotted out Chang Fu, going in with the UMP, trying to force him out. There goes the DBS just now. We heard a shotgun, but here comes the nade being tossed around. He's cooking it up, but he built it in the nick of time for Chang Fu.
You have Cheng Fu really sliver when it comes to the movement, but we'll see later, because Cheng Fu still left alone. The Jordan players are still chasing which is the exact position of Cheng Fu himself. So the next need be thrown. It's cooked pretty well, but Cheng Fu still admitted to defense right now. But the stops he made is actually revealing his position. Cheng Fu being spotted, shot by the other player from Jordan, but the nade coming from Esawi is not finishing him down. Shooting towards the door, he wants it. They want it when it comes to Jordan, but Cheng Fu still managed to moving around. He's even vaulting towards the outside of the compound, and Cheng Fu still not being knocked down by the player from Jordan. How many utilities when it comes to nade, Molly, and Cheng Fu like moving. Every nade's coming from Jordan made him move, and Cheng Fu right now in a very close combat. The stabs are heard by the player from Jordan, but he is playing outside from the top of this building.
Still late, trying to just find it 1 last person of Chinese Taipei, but he's making it so hard for the players. On the Indonesian side, they do have 4 men. For the first time, they're taking this quite strong. Uriel taking a Kobe on Krona. There's going to be 1 more team eliminated. We're down to 6 here. Within the 6th phase of a circle, hopping about 20 seconds on the clock for the next one. Chang Fu still being so cheeky. He's so witty.
Oh
He's
my
put out 1
God.
more. Taking on Uriel. Wait, this 1 person still can carry out the entire responsibility by himself. And 4 being knocked down as well with a sort of pain. Pakistan moving forward, flushing out the entire team of Iraq, being cornered, left, right, and center. Kala got down as well. Can Iraq with golden clutch this one against Pakistan?
Yup. 2 players of Pakistan already at the low HP, but it's not easy. But the nade coming from Golden, that was clean. Fast is already with a full health with the mat kit, but Golden with a close combat using the AK is already low HP, but the shotgun is the battle. But again, Golden, what a clutch. 2 players from Pakistan down, and this is the momentum for Golden to revive. Yes, he's reviving, but all the players from Pakistan being clutch. 1v3 coming from Golden alone.
There was a huge, humongous clutch by 1 player for the entire team of Pakistan. He's been cornered just now, but still managed to survive. What a play. Back to us again. We still have a 4v4, v2, v1v1 with Jordan. Gonna 1.5, but revived back to us 2. Maybe now trying to flush out whatever there is in front of him. It's going to be Jordan's team. Chang Fu being spotted. Finally, maybe found it out. Chang Fu has been sneaking all this while. Finally been found out by the Indonesian team. Where to run? You can run, but you can hide. Now Chang Fu, can he clutch? this as well. Finally, maybe finish off Chinese Taipei after such a long hiding time by Cheng Fu.
Yes, and the position from maybe is just good. He has the high ground, he has the vision, but South Korea in a very tight situation because one by one, the player being knocked down late right now, and also the need coming from him is just too on point. Even right now, South Korea already left with only 2 players, but Willie Aja at the other hand, shot by a player from Iraq. So the 3 teams showdown right now is still fighting. Maybe want to have a good position when it comes to the war. South Korea with a lot of smokes, and so goes to Iran. Kalaga still being knocked down. Is the revive still can be happened, but Will too with the nade is so well going or giving the damage towards the Iraq player. Full is faulting, but look at that nade. Kalaga being taken down. Golden the clutch. Meister also being knocked down, but a threat happened, but maybe that's a huge game coming from maybe another down, and Indonesia with 4 players intact.
Maybe it's just so brilliant when it comes to this match. He knows exactly where to go, where to look. Open up so much space for the entire team of Indonesia right now. Carrying up to the top here. For the rest of them, try to go for the support fires from below. Willie Aja tossing out the nade to the side of Iraq. Can they actually pin down on one more? Close enough, they got one. It's a team decimated by the hands of Indonesia. The rise of Indonesia team with a 4, 8 eliminations in the bag. They finally woken up from their slumber.
Yup. Maybe right now still on the highest altitude with the highest vision, but I think Indonesia knew they really need to do the gathering up because the zone less than 10 seconds will go to the 9th zone. When it comes to the zone like this, it's the closing of the game. Look at the position coming from Indonesia. They're already collecting 4 different angles, and this will become a hard situation for Jordan and also South Korea at the same moment. Look at maybe he's not stopping, he's still searching where is the exact location of his last opponent. The nade from Will Aja. That was nasty, and another elimination for Indonesia. So 4-on-2 situation right now. 2 players from Jordan versus full team from Indonesia, and I think it's already expected. I do not see any more utility. If they still have the utility, this will be big for the Indonesian team.
2v4, Sawi and Lace on the 2nd floor here, while the rest of them on the rooftop. Willie Aja trying to flush out from below, the others closing in from above. Now Willie Aja coming up to the rooftop as well, but nobody willing to pick over on 2nd story where Sawi and Lace still waiting. Look at how the cross out of Lace just waiting on the stairs in case the Indonesian player are climbing up as well. It's going to be 2v3. 2v4. What's the 4th player, by the way? We couldn't see the 4th player. It's still Martin coming up from the outside, waiting if they actually will jump down now. Laith and Isawi heard the footsteps. It's all the matter of time. Laith and Isawi holding their breath while the Indonesians are hungry to finish things off. They're waiting in the outside. Maybe Ngatrega Willie Aja is still on around the building while Martin couldn't wait anymore longer. He's just going to rush in now. He doesn't want to wait anymore. But Isawi and Laith just so well in hiding.
I mean, I think they do not want to make this mistake because this is a big moment for the Indonesia team. So the circle, the Blues are already pushing, but I don't know. They are still waiting. The Jordan players, not a long time after this, they need to jump down from the window and look at the Indonesian team. They're already waiting at the surface of the land itself. Isawi still playing near the window. Same goes to Late, but Late already moving towards the stairs. Maybe there will be a surprise attack, but maybe already predicting the movement coming from Late. The smoke, oh my god, 10 smokes at Isawi, but a shot coming from Jordan. 1 player from Indonesia being knocked down, but Late at the low HP. We will see how this fight will begin, because 3-on-2 situation right now. Martin being knocked down. Late is knocked down also, so 2-on-1 situation. Isawi try to figure out how to finish the game because Isawi is bolting down, and Indonesia finally the winner chicken dinner with 4-on-2 situation. This is the beginning because they just going up from their position. What a play, what a game coming from Indonesia.
Finally, after such a long hurdle, after just so many hoops for them to jump over.
God.
Indonesia finally coming back into the World Esports Championship after such a long slumber. It was a really tough start for them the past few days.
I mean, this is a big chance. You know what? The substitute is playing right now, and he is playing really well because a lot of movements coming from the substitute player, which is Agi Chuek. So he's like a support from behind, shooting towards all the enemy, and maybe he's the player, I think, one of the key because he won the fight with Chinese Taipei, giving the high position or the rooftop of that compound becomes the position of maybe himself. So it's the start from the Indonesian team because a good coordination, a good teamwork, and finally another contender going up for the total points.
I agree. It was so pivotal for them to actually take down this on the Chinese Taipei player just now, Horton, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not, I mean, like, that rooftop was everything. That compound was the most important vintage point that can change the game so much. And for the Indonesian team, for them to actually sneaking into the last minute into the safe circle wasn't easy task either. They really had to go things. They had to go through so many teams to cut across. The crossfire in between towards the side of SMB was just so challenging, and they managed to survive till the end. Still, nevertheless, I have to give props to the side of Iraq team as well because that was such a good clutch against the Pakistan team.
I mean, like, Iraq back to the default with an aggressive power. They are fighting a lot with a lot of teams, defending with a good gatekeep strategy, and when it comes to the late game, their proactive movement going toward the circle, investing one of the player going towards the circle first and the other following up after that is really good coming from Iraq. And this is what I'm saying, Age Chuek, the substitute player, I guess, because I think I do not see him playing before. Right now really changed the game for Indonesia, and I think the confidence level when it comes to Indonesian team stemming up really well at this game. Chang Fu, again, beside Hu Xuan, I think this is a player with a good capacity when it comes to Team Chinese Taipei, but Golden really stole the show, I guess, because not only clutch 1v2 but 1v3 players from Pakistan.
For finally Chang Fu being finished off in the last minute. Sorry, I got the wrong player just now. Chinese Taipei finally being founded out by Maybe. Now, I have to say that for the Indonesian team this time, every single player played their part and role so well. Like, example, Willie Edge opened up so many space by tossing so many Kobe's to the other team entirely. Lath, you know what, knocked down Willie Aja, but because of Ajachoy, he managed to give so much support fire, giving so many space for the other teams to actually being finished off by the members. But this time, finally, the host country, Indonesia, taking the Ayam Batutu and their own chicken way.
Yeah, finally going up from the slumber with a good coordination again. I really enjoy how the game really went before. So this is new for me because the movement is not easy for Indonesia. You know, they're moving from the central part of the map, even they are not going well with the drop spot, then going from the sea itself because they are swimming towards the Sosnovka Island, then going to the northern side, cutting the rotation of Kazakhstan, a big strong contender, and they got the winner chicken dinner. But not only Indonesia, Iraq also coming back with their own gameplay, with an aggressive one, because Iraq, even though they are finished at the number 4 in position, but the total elimination really boosts them up towards the 20 total points. So this is the overall statistic, 54 total elimination. I think a lot of players being knocked down outside of the circle because the blue zone is already hitting them hard. 9,000-ish total heal, 2 airdrop looted, 180 throw use. I think this is a low when it comes to the overall statistic because it is hard. It is basically hard for a lot of teams going to the Sosnovka Island.
I mean, like, that's one thing, and one more thing is, do they have enough time to loot up in the main island?
Oh,
because
yeah.
SMB is like the most it can supply is just 3 teammates, so that's like bare minimum for 3 teams to actually get everything. Imagine all the teams that actually just comprised of all 6 teams in SMB. It's almost impossible. Hence, there's so many teams actually coming in very late when it comes to the blue zone and the circle as well for this reason. But the thing is, can they find vehicle if they're coming up from the main peninsula as well? Because if they can't find any, then for them to actually get into SMB without any vehicle or any boat, they'll be choked to death. Swimming is an option, yes, but it's one of the most torturous options they have right now when it comes to that sort of list. Now, speaking back to the side of Indonesia, finally start to wake up. But will it be enough for them to give it an impact of overall ranking? Because they are in the bottom too.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this first chicken dinner, I think it doesn't boost them towards the top 5. It's quite far. It's still far because they already lost for about 8 games. It's already at the 9th game of the grand final. So I think this is just a mental boost for them because they still be participant in terms of the one who still want to be the champion, because it's not only about the champion for Indonesia, they are the host. They need to give their best because a lot of expectation, a lot of commentary for this team. They really need to show to the viewers, to the community that they still here, they can show the best of them.
But right now we're going to head into the break. You know what? We still have one more match to go. See you guys in a bit and don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.